For the first time in his career, Neymar is walking into a World Cup without guaranteed starter status. And honestly, that alone tells you how much has changed. For more than a decade, Brazil basically revolved around Neymar only. The kid from Santos, who was humiliating defenders as a teenager, then went to Barcelona, comment Rosell, to learn about the alleged financial irregularities about the transfer. But back at Barcelona formed one of the most terrifying attacking trios in football history, alongside Messi and Suárez. Not only Barcelona, but he also shined for Brazil and became Brazil's all-time top scorer with 79 goals. The whole team was built around him. But destiny had something else written. And then the injuries started piling up. At the 2022 World Cup, he got fouled 9 times in the opening game against Serbia and missed the next 2 matches. He fought back, scored against South Korea in the round of 16, and then Brazil lost on penalties to Croatia in the quarterfinals. With Neymar standing on the pitch in tears, never even getting the chance to take a penalty before Brazil's 2 misses ended the shootout. And that was actually his 3rd World Cup nightmare in a row, because people forget what happened in 2014 when Brazil were hosting the tournament. Neymar was injured in the quarterfinal against Colombia after a knee to the spine from Juan Zuniga fractured his vertebra and ended his tournament. And then without him, Brazil walked out to face Germany in the semi-final and were absolutely destroyed 7-1 on home soil. Then in October 2023, playing a qualifier for this tournament against Uruguay, he tore his knee ligaments and disappeared from football for over a year. He went to Al Hilal in Saudi Arabia and made just 7 appearances in 18 months before they essentially told him he could no longer play at their level. He came back to Santos, his boyhood club, and started rebuilding from scratch. And this is where things got interesting, because back at Santos, he managed 6 goals and 2 assists across 15 matches in 2026. Not spectacular numbers, but enough consistent football to force Ancelotti into a conversation. Days before the squad announcement, Ancelotti held a video call with Neymar and sporting director Rodrigo Caetano to clearly establish the new conditions Neymar would have to accept. And Ancelotti was direct. The era of Neymar as the untouchable protagonist was over. He would no longer hold the captain's armband and would not be a guaranteed starter. The coaching staff also laid out rules around discipline and media exposure that represented a completely different environment to anything Neymar had experienced with Brazil before. Neymar greeted the call with a smile and a promise to do whatever was necessary to help the group. That reaction was reportedly the final green light for Ancelotti. "We chose Neymar not because we think he'll be a good substitute. We chose Neymar because we believe he can help the team," Ancelotti said at the announcement. Brazil's plan is built around the pace of Vinícius Júnior and Raphinha, and Neymar's role probably is to come off the bench, drift centrally, and create in the moments that matter most. Less physical, more intelligent. Because in Brazil, World Cups are how you define yourself forever. Pelé won 3, Ronaldo won 2 and scored 8 goals in 2002. And despite everything Neymar has achieved, the trophies, the records, the goals, there has always been this feeling that something is missing. The World Cup. Neymar returns to the national team for the first time since October 2023, after more than 2.5 years away. He is 34 years old. This is almost certainly his last shot. And the fact that he accepted a reduced role, agreed to the conditions, and showed up at Santos determined to prove his fitness, all of that suggests he understands exactly what this moment is. But whether Neymar can turn these stolen minutes into something historic and join Pelé and R9, that's the question that will follow Brazil all the way through this tournament.